Okay. So if you ever end up doing a cooking stream, would it be just as easy to bring all that gear into the kitchen?
I'm sure it would.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
again, all we would really need is just that really long Ethernet cable,
Oh, that's fantastic.
and
That's
just kind of
fantastic.
bring it to the kitchen.
That's
But
fantastic. Yeah.
that would be unreal. I would love to do that one day.
Oh, we know you can cook, my friend. I'm gonna be a good. I mean, I keep me apprised of that too. I want to participate in that one. That'd be really fun.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we will definitely do that. We should do like a double, like a collab stream, but where we actually like
We're
we'll cook the same thing at the same time,
This is tremendous. I think this is an absolutely terrific idea. We
right?
could just see how does yours compare to the one that I made. I mean, that's a terrific idea, Josh. That's a
I
fantastic
think it could
idea.
be so much fun.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You know, the only thing apparently, according to my chat, that I can't do is fry sandwiches. So as long as it's not that, I think I can do anything else. I can grill
Can't
them.
fry sandwiches.
I'm good at Oh yeah, it was better that's better left unseen. You didn't see that?
Oh no. Hey, it's
No,
like it's your Thomas Edison moment, you know?
yeah, yeah, it's a very nice way to put that. Yes, yes.
That's awesome.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, that's more or less it. Yeah.
Right on.
Oh my god, that's great. What is like the one thing you cook that you feel like you do the best? Is there any specific thing that comes to mind?
One thing I cook, I do a lot of like stir fry stuff for
Okay.
like lunch. So a lot of rice dishes, a lot of noodle dishes. I feel like I'm really good at taking all of the leftovers that I've got in the fridge and then going, okay, how can I throw these together and like reuse them?
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. Really good. Um, super. Yeah, that's pretty. Stir fry, chicken stir fry, pork stir
Right.
fry, beef stir fry.
Oh,
You ever
it's
do with
amazing.
shrimp?
Occasionally,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
nice.
we, Matt made, what do you make? He made pho the other night, and
Ooh.
we then like the next day we had all of this like raw beef and we
Mm-hmm.
had noodles and all of this stuff, and I was like, okay, this is where I shine, and I like threw a whole bunch of stuff in the pot. It was amazing. I had it for like breakfast and lunch. It's terrific,
I love it. Team family effort. That's awesome.
right?
Love it. Love it. Hey, Kalans, welcome to the chat, and thank you so much for the resub. 10 months. I can't believe you've been on for 10 months. That's really awesome. Thank you. Very nice to you. Nice to see you again. Sci-Fi Sadie, I remember you from Josh's chat. Hello, and Stargate Girl Sophie, same to you as well. I know that you had some happenings on the Discord, so I'm very happy for both of you. I'm glad you're doing all right. That's so good to see you both here in the chat tonight. So, um, welcome in, and Josh, nice of you to greet them in the chat as well. Um, I mean, we're pretty much ready to go. Since if some of you turkeys may not have been here since our last collab back in June, and in both our cases we've made some changes over that time, and you'll probably see some of them and you'll probably hear some of them as well. So it should be really fun. But welcome in. Yeah. Oh, Kalon's cool. You're a turkey subscriber too. Why not? Why not? I should double check and make sure. I always like to situate my Prime subscription for the Josh Taerk channel. Lesser known fact, but
Oh, thank you, man.
absolutely,
Appreciate that.
absolutely. Let's make sure that that's still in place. But at any rate, maybe I should do that right now because we have time to wait for folks to come in. Yeah, just really quickly before we start officially, any new work as far as the studio work today?
Absolutely. We have gotten to the point where
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of finalizing the mixes before we send them to mastering,
Okay.
which is very exciting because we've recorded all of the stuff, all of the parts are there, and so now it's just a matter of us through this really cool technology. Like he's in LA, I'm in Toronto, and we're able to talk to each other in real time and listen to the same thing in real time and kind of go, okay, I think this should be louder, I think this should be softer, we should bring this in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's still a very creative process, kind of going through the mixes and figuring out what parts need to be louder, what parts we want to like highlight in those sections. And then just to hear the songs coming together is phenomenal. I'm so excited to.
I am too. I can't wait to hear the finished product. This is going to be quite terrific. I can't
wait to play it for you all. Like seriously, I'm listening down to what this stuff has turned into. I'm like, I can't wait to get this stuff out there.
Yeah. Oh, and thank you for the follow. I believe we have a new follow here, so thank you so much for the follow. And all right, folks, I think it's about time to do this. Those turkeys are not. I think we're ready to roll. I'm ready to go too. So let's do this, everybody. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Sandwich Show, and a special welcome to all the turkeys from our friend Josh Taerk's channel who are joining us tonight, and all of you regulars from the Sandwich Show chat. It's good to have you back as well. The Sam Fam is always such a supportive and engaging community, and so I'm happy to bring on one of our friends from the last few. Thank you, anonymous gifter, for the 1 month tier sub. Thank you so much, and 97 Dreamer. So cool to have you joining us. Again, thank you so much for the follow. That is such a oh, that's a link. Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and introduce our guest for the evening, and once again, it's time to say hello to our friend Josh Taerk. Josh, welcome back. How's it going tonight in this exciting setting you have here?
It's going great, man. Thank you so much for having me, and all of the turkeys that are in the chat. It's so great to see you again. CT, Elena, Stargate Girl Sophie. Oh my goodness, Sci-Fi Sadie. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sending you all my love and light, as always. But I hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, 100.
And yeah, thank you guys so much. And Callens, what up, my friend? So good to see you.
This is awesome. and CTR Mod's in the chat too, and CT says, Josh, you freaking legend. I'm with that.
CT.
I'm with that. So,
love you, man.
Yeah, that's great. So, folks, we're really in for some fun tonight. We have a lot to catch up on, and it's so interesting, Josh. I've been seeing so many stream fests on the Twitch platform, and you were in on one of the biggest that I've ever seen in my life. It was unreal. Like, so just to explain to folks what this was about. Variety is a children's charity, I believe. Correct me if any of this is wrong. But they have a branch in Ontario, and I believe they reached out to you or at some point, and you were the headliner for what was a 5-day. Like normally you get like 1 or 2 days, maybe 3. This was a 5-day. It was a 5-day stream fest. And when we say 5 day, we don't mean like 9 to 5. We mean like 24 hours continuously for 5 straight days, covering like almost every country in the world, and some big names in the mix. Josh, it was an incredible success. $53,000 raised on this charity stream fest, and you were obviously a big part of it. But not just in just having the shows, but it sounds like you were crucial in organizing a lot of the streamers who were on there. Would you mind taking us through the process of how it started, who reached out to you, and what you did to bring together the schedule for the Stream Fest?
Absolutely, I can. And actually, this is a really great timing and really great moment to do this, because the Mod Love Doctor is actually a really big reason as to why the Streamathon happened. Peter, as you know, is not only an incredible mod to so many phenomenal streamers on this platform, but he's also a mod for the turkeys. And Peter reached out to me and said, hey, I'm collecting names for a potential charity stream this year, and was wondering if there was any charity that you particularly liked or worked with in the past. And I thought about it, and I said, Variety would be a really great organization to bring to this. So I said, hey, Peter, I've got this charity in mind, and they're an international charity. Let me see if I can reach out to them and see if they would want to be involved in something like this. Now, the way that Variety is set up is that, as you had said, Davey, they've got so many different, they call them tent organizations in different countries. So there's a Variety in the UK, there's a couple in the Asia-Pacific region, and there were 2 or 3 of them in Canada. And so I had been in contact with a couple of people at Variety Ontario and went to them and said, we would like to do a charity stream for Variety International. What we would ideally like to do is make this an international event, because the one thing that's great about Twitch is you've got people from all over the world coming into all of these different streams, interacting with each other, and it's really, it's such an incredible global community. We want to present that to the charity, and we want the charity to represent that kind of global ideal.
Right.
And Variety Ontario loved it. They went to Variety International, said, do you guys want to be involved in this? And they jumped on the Twitch bandwagon so early, and they were in the streams, and they loved the idea, and just the outpouring of support on our end from Twitch streamers and all of the different people that wanted to be involved.
Oh yeah.
We initially, like you said, we had started off with the idea of, let's do 3 days, and let's do 6 a.m. until midnight every day. And it turned into, okay, we have so many more people that want to be a part of this, and we didn't want to say no to anybody. We were like, okay, let's see if we can go for 24 hours on those 3 days. And then it became, let's see if we can add a 4th day. Let's see if we can add a 5th day. And we ended up with 5 full days of non-stop music. And just seeing the incredible response that we got from so many of the streamers, and not just wanting to be involved, but, hey, can we pitch in as a mod for this person's channel? Hey, can we, starting to raid in when it wasn't their day to stream, they would still raid into the streamathon and still wanted to be a part of it. We had people reaching out to us saying, hey, do you want to keep this going a little longer? I'm going to stream at this time. I could do another stream for you guys. And so that part of it completely blew my mind. And the response that we got from Variety International, they were so thrilled with how everything went. They were so incredibly inspired by all of the love and support that they saw in the Twitch community for this event. They were like, there's no question that we need to do this again. There's no question that we want to be more involved in Twitch. And they had nothing but wonderful things to say about all of the incredible streamers, mods, organizers, viewers that were involved.
That's amazing. And I'm just going to
so much.
I'm going to break down. And by the way, hello Quantum and hello Irene Painted Music. Good to see you both in the chat. Welcome in.
Oh my goodness,
nice
what's going on, y'all?
So, I mean, and Irene was part of that show Heart Stream
very much
Charitython.
so.
Yeah. She was on the anchor leg for all intents and purposes, following.
Absolutely. And talking about some of the incredible support that we were not expecting at all. Irene hosts this wonderful monthly festival and raid train called the Together Wherever Twitch Streamathon, which I'm very excited to say, going to be a part of this Saturday.
Yes.
So that's going to be incredible. But Irene was saying, hey, I love being involved in this. Would our network of, promoting and organizing this streamathon that she does help you in any way with this Variety International thing? And just that kind of selflessness and the wanting to do more than, we would have just been thrilled if Irene just wanted to stream and, showcase her beautiful talent for Variety International. But the fact that she wanted to go that extra mile with the whole thing was just so incredibly inspiring and so indicative of the entire energy that surrounded this thing.
100%. And I was always curious about that from the standpoint of who was reaching out to each of these streamers to make the pitch. I imagine you were on some level and Irene was on another level and maybe Peter was on the other level?
We had an incredible team of organizers in the Discord. So we had Peter, we had Craig, we had Maddie, Rose Acoustic, the Creative Star, Aaron.
Really?
Yeah, there were a bunch of people, and so I was reaching out to a bunch of streamers. Peter was reaching out to a bunch of streamers. Peter then found a whole bunch of mods that he was bringing into the situation as well that also had streamers that they wanted to participate in. So it was an incredible kind of snowball effect that started to take place.
Oh, that's wonderful. This quick comment from our from our friend CT, who says, let me see if I can. Hey Josh, the first time I met you, I think I'm assuming in the chat. Was when Katie collabed with you at your studio. I would love to see that, Chad. That was a while. I was before.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Yeah.
And that was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Katie's awesome, no doubt. Anyway, CT continues. I thought you were awesome, and then I followed. Well, that's a great decision on your part, CT. I'm glad you did. Yeah. Yeah, working with Katie in IRL, right? Was that IRL, or was that just over Zoom or something?
Yeah, so first of all, if you want a full list of all of the incredible organizers that were involved with the variety thing, Peter is naming everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for doing that, Peter. I really appreciate that. And CT, I wanted to say thank you so much for following, for being such an incredible support of the Taerkies, of Davey, of so many incredible streamers, and for shining your light, man. That's fantastic.
I mirror that, CT. Well done. Good to hear from you again. So let me break down some of the folks. So the folks in the chat that Josh mentioned: Swimmy, Dylan G, Maddie Rose Acoustic, the Creative Star. An incredible job by everybody. Let's break down who was on the Streamfest. I have this here. I found the chart. Look at this. There is an unbelievable number. And we're talking like some huge names. A lot of heavy hitters. Joshua Wu, Calvin Thomas on day 1. We mentioned Katie, voice unmuted on day 2. Day 2 was just unreal. Like you had like Carly Sings, followed by Tyler Levs, followed by Jordan Lane, followed by Barnum Michael. I mean that is a heck of a run right there. And then day 3, just a lot of great names. I mean, and obviously you were in. Oh, Samantha Taylor was on day 2 as well. The compliments, goodness gracious, that day was incredible. But all these days really were to really get into it. Like look at all these cool names, Courtney, and yourself, and let me see, anyone I missed here? Well, obviously there are a lot of names in here, Adele and Andy as well, and KR. It's when you step back and look at this schedule, like, are you just amazed at just how huge this really was? Because it just seemed like the money that was getting raised and the people that were performing, I mean, it was just, I just can't think of anything on this platform that's been bigger up to this point. And as you can see on the bottom, $53,000 raised. It's amazing, Josh. What do you think?
The entire thing, even now, is so surreal to think about.
Yeah.
You know, we started with the simple purpose of wanting to do some good and wanting to spread a little bit more of that love and light, because these kids are phenomenal. The variety helps, and that variety, the work that they do, they give every child the opportunity to be a kid, and on top of that, they give every family the opportunity to see their kids thrive, to see their kids enjoying their lives, happy, healthy, and making friends and being kids. And that's, when we thought about that, that's a huge gift to be able to give to anybody.
Absolutely.
Is the gift of being able to enjoy your life a little bit more fully. And so in thinking about it, when we started the streamathon and we started to see how incredibly passionate all of the streamers were about this charity, about the cause, all of the stuff that they did on their streams to get people involved, to engage not only with the viewers that were coming in, but to engage the viewers with the charity, it constantly blew my mind, the level of love and compassion that was coming out of this event. And I'd already had an idea that the Twitch community, and especially the music community, I've never seen a more supportive group of people in my entire life, from all over the world. And the way that everybody interacts with each other, the way that everybody's there for each other, that was something that I wanted to show variety. Like, this is what's possible when you bring the world in.
Absolutely.
You know, and you don't just limit the people that you're sending your message out to, but when you bring the entire world in together, this is what we can do. And when we started to see that roll out in the event, that was phenomenal. And when we ended the event, I remember sitting at dinner with my family, and I got an email from Variety, and they were sending out the thank you email. They had sent me, like, this is a draft of the the thank you email. And when I was reading the thank you email, and I'm already starting again,
Oh no.
I had
Oh wow.
I couldn't finish it. Like I was sitting at the table, like convulsing with tears of joy. Like my parents had to come over and read the rest of the email because I was reading it out loud. And at a certain point, I couldn't finish. Just the entirety of what we had all accomplished, because it takes a village to make something like this successful, and it would not have been nearly as successful without every single person that was involved. The streamers, the organizers, the variety volunteers that were in there, and all of the people that are in the chat right now, all of the people that came into the chats, that donated, that encouraged other people to donate, to raid in. That's why it was so successful. It's because of all of you.
Well, thanks for that, Josh. I mean, and a lot of the folks in the chat, as you mentioned, were a big part of this. I love some of these comments. I mean, Irene first said that this is a powerhouse list, which I too am blown away by it, Irene. I really am. Main Mammy, who we know is the mother of Island Vibing Presents. Hi all, this was a fantastic fundraiser. Well, thank you for that. I mean, well, I can't thank you. Josh should thank you. But certainly that's really nice of you to say. That's what I meant.
Thank you very much. Yeah. That means a lot.
Yeah, it's really good to see you in the chat too. By the way, Main Mammy. Hope everyone's well over there in Maine. But how about this comment from Peter, Roger, and Daniela, who I found on the front page, by the way, without even I wasn't even logged in, and I was just like going to Twitch. Oh my goodness, this is Roger and Daniela. They're pretty cool. Well, listen to this. Roger and Daniela stepped in to help when someone dropped out last minute, less than 4 hours notice, and they put on a great show. That's incredible.
We had so many streamers. I mean, this was still during a lot of, the very contagious parts of COVID-19. And so we kind of knew that there could be some of this going into it, but we had a couple of streamers that reached out to us and said, hey, like, I can't do the slot anymore. I'm not feeling well. I've got sick. I have to stay in bed. And this is another reason that I love Twitch so much, and I love the Twitch music community specifically, because the organizers went, okay, who can we reach out to? And within literal seconds of us sending emails and messages to different people, different streamers, that we had people that were like, yeah, totally, I'll do it. Send me the information. No problem.
And Peter adds, Josh hadn't even woke up when we had already had it covered. So glad you managed to get some rest. Oh,
Peter, that was crazy too. Like waking up that morning, and Peter was like, "Hey man, just wanted to let you know we got this covered. Don't worry." And I was like, I was so grateful in that moment that Peter was behind the wheel, because it was like, man, thank you so much. Seriously.
Yeah, good times all the way around. I mean, just incredible, just heroic work by so many of you, and many of you are in the chat. So my thanks to you as well. Really awesome. Irene says, agreed. That was midstream for me.
Yeah. And Irene was hanging in there too. She was like, honestly, you wouldn't have known that anything was not going on or anything wasn't what it was supposed to be. Like, she's a pro.
I dig it. Let's see. Now it's almost time for sandwich of the week, but before we get to that, let's talk about what happened after. Because after a big week like that, I think you've earned some time off. And per your socials and your shirt, it looks like you went to one of the happiest places on earth, Walt Disney World.
It was really funny because we had booked this family vacation like almost a year ago. And it just kind of happened to fall on the day after we had organized the entire event. And so the next morning, I kind of felt like it was like a Super Bowl moment. Everybody was like, what are you going to do now? And I was like, I'm going to Disney World. But
fantastic.
We went over to the Orlando parks, and we've got really, really good family friends who are like pretty much family at this point, that work over at Disney. And so we got to see them. And yeah, it was just phenomenal being back in the parks after so long and getting to ride the rides, see all of the sights. Like I'm a big very clearly, very big Disney fan.
I love it.
And I love the messages that go through all of the stuff that they put out there. And so it was almost like a re-upping of all of that positive energy and those positive messages.
Yeah, that's awesome, Josh. That's really cool. So we talked about it in the pre-show part of the show.
We did.
What was your favorite ride there?
Oh man, they did such a good job with that new like Star Wars theme area. And first of all, the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is phenomenal. It's a great ride.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite ride was Rise of the Resistance. That is a ride within a ride. Like it is just, and there's a show portion of it. I don't want to give too much away if anybody is planning on doing it, but it is just like, it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. It was so cool.
Yeah, and that's just one that I got to be a part of as well, because there's a version of it at Disneyland too. But whatever coaster you're on, you can enjoy that ride within relatively close proximity. So that's cool. I'm glad you liked it. I mean, and I love these comments in the chat that says, Peter says, the Mod Love Doctor PTB01, big Disney fan. Really, Josh, I would never have guessed. Good stuff. Let's see. Enjoy those sandwiches and rock on. Thank you, Irene. Enjoy your lurk. Thanks for stopping by for a bit.
Thank you, Irene. Much love.
And folks, just to repeat, Josh will be part of the Together Wherever Stream Fest on Saturday, leading off at 10 o'clock Eastern, just to double check.
Yeah, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time, Saturday morning.
Oh, that's great. Which is kind of like around when you normally stream anyway, right? I believe that you do some streams around that time most of the time, most weeks.
Yeah, most of the days. It just seems to be it seems to be a really great time for the community that we've developed so far, and we got a lot of really supportive, fans from the UK and fans from other parts of the world that we had toured in already. That it just kind of worked out that while everyone's doing kind of their pre-lunch lunch break here, they're kind of getting off of work and kind of easing into the evening in like the UK and Australia, and obviously Australia is a lot further on, but yeah, like it just kind of worked out for the community that we have, and it's been really great for making new turkeys and having new turkeys come in, and time just seems to really vibe with what we're doing.
That's cool.
What up, Angry? So good to see you.
Yeah, likewise. And Angry PFB in the chat. Welcome in. Good to see you.
That's the only thing, though. I know that doesn't necessarily work all the time for Angry. So we've been trying to find some other times where we can hang out with Angry as well, because we miss you, man. We miss you at the Turkeys family.
I dig. Let's see. We have Emmy Louisa 87 in the chat. Welcome in. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Emmy.
Welcome in.
So good to see you.
Cool. And the Garden of Paradise is back. Hello. Welcome. Folks, just a quick reminder. You can see in the bar, I'm only 10 follows away from 600. If you like this program, please give us a follow, and we'd be most grateful. So, I mean, 600 is a big number. I mean,
if there are any turkeys out there that are not following Davey, please smash that follow button. Let's get that 600.
That'd be pretty rad. Now, your follow count has been extraordinary in the time since we last did our show. I remember when you were on the front page, and you had, I can't even remember the number. It was an amazing number of follows.
That was crazy.
What's it like? Was that your first trip to the front page at the time?
It actually wasn't. That was, I think, the second or third time that we had been on the front page. I've been very grateful that the Twitch music community has been very, very generous to the turkeys with time on the front page. They've been very supportive. They were lovely when we reached out to them about the Variety charity event and made sure that we had front page slots for a good majority of the streamers that were performing.
Right.
So very grateful for that.
Yeah, and Peter says, was that the day we got 601 stream? I think it was. That's the one I
think that was Peter. Yeah.
That was
that was something crazy like that.
Your emotes were going crazy. Your emote wall was just blowing up.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's a great day.
Like a sea of hugs and turkeys. That was all it was.
We couldn't see you. It was so funny. Oh, good days indeed. Oh, Peter, I totally get that. That was a hard day to mod. Oh, poor Peter and mods.
Yeah, that was an all hands on deck kind of day. That was
Good times, good times. All right, it's time for one of the beloved staples of the show. But before we do that, I would like to point you to our latest venture. We're actually going to try our own Streamfest in addition to all the other Streamfests you're familiar with. But we're going to do it differently. We're going to have a Streamfest where up is down, left is right, and things are going to be a little twisted. We're going to have streamers doing what they normally don't do. And it's called Borkfest 2022. It's going to happen on April the 1st. But let's introduce you to each of these streamers with each day. And we'll start tonight by telling you a little bit about our friend Emily Henry Music, who has graciously agreed to be part of this. Let's see a little bit more and learn a little bit more about Emily Henry Music.
Conspiracy. 7 + 1 + 3 is 11, people. It's 11.
That's going to be part of Borkfest on Friday, April the 1st. You can catch Emily Henry Music at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. It's going to be a really, really fun, very different kind of Streamfest. And I'm a little nervous about it. I've never attempted anything like this before, but we together, hopefully we'll have a good time, and it should be a good way for folks to get to know folks from our sandwich community. Really excited about that. Josh, you know, it's always an honor to be even a participant, but to organize one now, it's obviously not to the scale of yours, but it must be so thrilling to get to know so many people in one sitting and be able to conduct and promote each other. I think it's a really good venue, sure. Isn't it?
And that looks like an incredible list of people. Like, you've got some phenomenal names on that list, Davey.
Well,
and that looks like such a fun, like, streamathon to be a part of. You know, so is everybody doing like cooking streams, or are they?
It's interesting. So, like, I know our friend the LG Music will do a cooking stream. That's at 8.
That's awesome.
That'd be fun. I'm going to be doing a hot fudge sundae, and I'm also going to be building Legos on my show, on the sandwich show here. I'm told that Abby C Music is going to do finger painting.
Wow.
It's wild. And then Island Vibing Presents is going to have some tricks up her sleeve too. She mentioned there's going to be some art involved. She's going to try to pull her own stream scribe. But what is this stream scribe going to do? You know, we're all doing different things. It's going to be so much fun. And
that is phenomenal.
Speaking of which, Aaron, welcome to the Sandwich Show chat. Aaron is going to be part of this as well. That is so cool, Aaron. Awesome. Welcome in. So, anyway, now back to business. And of course, the two of us are known very, very much for our sandwiches, which means it is that time again, Josh. Are you ready? Are you hungry?
Looking forward to this.
Yes? All right. Let's do it.
Looking forward to this.
It is once again the staple of the Sandwich Show, and we like to call it The Sandwich of the Week. And who better to do Sandwich of the Week than with the Sandwich King, seated nicely in his cool sectional couch with his Mickey Mouse shirt. What do we have this week for Sandwich of the Week, Josh?
So this week, I went like pure like Italian sub.
Ooh.
So we didn't have sub bread, but we had some really nice like sourdough bread.
Ooh.
And I've got some soup chicken, fresh soup that we made today. We've
Ah.
got 2 types of Italian salami. There's one that's like an all beef salami. There's one that's like a prosciutto salami. We've got some, let me see if I can get this to the camera a little bit closer. If you see in there, we've got some arugula. We've got some hot peppers, some like banana peppers in there. And then we've got some Italian dressing. Instead of like mustard or ketchup, we've got 2 pieces of bread soaked in Italian dressing.
That's beautiful.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
That's tasty.
I know.
So tasty. But I like the little twist you put into that. The soup chicken looks very, very tender, very cool,
Right?
and everything looks great. So that is an awesome sandwich. Kudos. The Italian dressing, you gotta go Italian dressing. I think that's a good call too.
100%.
100%. All right, so let me show you mine. Mine's a little bit more a blue-collar choice, but I think I like it. So
Right on.
this has been a thing this month for folks who order from our beloved Wendy's restaurant in the U.S. This is the Dave's single, and there's a really good
Ooh.
deal going on it. Now that,
There you go.
yeah, a classic hamburger. Just got to get it in focus.
Gotta love it. Wendy's is terrific.
Oh, isn't it though? It's all fresh. I love it. Never
Yeah.
frozen, never frozen. Oh, there we go. Cool. There we got a good visual on it. And with this, I have some spicy chicken nuggets and a ghost pepper
good call.
sauce to go with them. There you
Good
go.
call.
All right,
Their
Josh.
spicy chicken is legit over there at Wendy's.
Yeah, no
That
question.
Spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, they just introduced another one, which I'm like, I was like on the drive-through after I put in my order on the app, and like they had this sign. It's this like hot honey spicy chicken, and I'm like,
Ooh.
oh, that sounds so good.
Wow.
I might just have to show you a picture of that on the Instagram at some point.
That would be amazing. Wendy's is getting fancy with their chicken
I
sandwiches
know.
now. Holy.
I know it. It's incredible. So Christy's in the chat, my sister. Hello, Christy. The spicy nuggets. Oh my God, so very good. I agree. I agree. Aaron, so great to see you back too. Shout out to Christy's Coffee. By the way, folks, the channel points are now activated. So if you'd like to redeem stunts on this program, feel free to do so. We've added a few since Josh was last here too. So
I'm very excited to see them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very excited to be here and be a part of this.
I love it. I love it, Josh. So let me go ahead and take it. Oh my God. 2 out of the box.
Filthy adult coloring book.
Oh, okay, let's do that one
Oh,
first.
this is gonna be great. Do the Mentos trick.
All
Nice.
right. Yes,
Bean
you're
boozled.
absolutely right, Aaron. I should have known. You're absolutely right. I should have known. You save them for half an hour. They're going to throw them all at you at the same time.
There you go.
Oh my God.
There you go.
All right, so I'll eat my sandwich in a little bit. Please enjoy yours, though, while we take care of all these, these routines.
Let me take a first bite.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, CT. I appreciate you saying that. All right. So, let's see. What do we have? What was first in the queue? Let's do the Filthy Adult Coloring Book. What do we have today? All right. Now I will admit this could have been filthier, but we'll start with this. Let's see what you think. Here we go.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
So-
see what you're saying. Like it could have been. I was expecting a lot worse,
Oh yes.
but that's I feel like that's a good shallow end kind of jumping in situation. Like it's.
Like if you take away the F word, it's just a regular sentence. I don't.
This is true.
Like I'm kind of there are elements. There's some pages in that book that just disappoint me. I'm like, this could have been filthier. Like
Exactly.
I'm gonna go look for a filthier one later.
Yeah. I feel like that page is like the Lucky Charms of when they say part of a balanced breakfast. It's like if you take the Lucky Charms out, I think it's still a balanced breakfast. Is it really filthy if you take the
That's a great comment. I love that. Oh, pop it up. Thanks, Christy. Appreciate the redeem. All right, let me finish out the rest of these. So now we have the Bean Boozled. Let's give it like 20 minutes of redeems. Let's see. How's that sandwich tasting, by the way, Josh?
Oh my God, phenomenal.
Love it. Love it.
Oh yeah, you get the tanginess of the Italian dressing,
I
the
love
hot, like the spice of the hot peppers,
Ooh.
but then you get the saltiness that actually balances really nicely with the soup chicken because it's more like soft and kind of because it was just marinated in the soup and we just pulled it out, so it's all kind of feeding the same. It's nice.
I like it. Wow.
Yeah.
Everything coming together. That's pretty awesome. Anthony Castillo Music, welcome in. Let's give a shout out to Anthony Castillo Music. He's a music streamer too.
Oh, Anthony.
Yeah. Welcome in, Anthony. Good to see you. And Peter says, that's just a normal sentence for a scouser. I add the F word in most sentences. I believe that.
I mean,
I've been to
it's
his
a
channel.
sentence enhancer, really. Like,
Right.
those words are
Right.
sentence enhancers,
Well, there might be some F-bombs after this, too. So let me see what bean this is, and then we'll let you know. It might be.
Shout out to Angry. Thank you for the gift subs.
Look at this. 2 of them came out. I'll do this one. Oh my god. Alright, so this one... This will get you PTSD. This is either a stink bug or a toasted marshmallow. Yeah.
Stink bug.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. We'll see which one it is. Gotta work my way up to it. Okay. Pump it up! The toasted marshmallow!
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, all right.
It survives.
Yeah, I know. Love it. Oh, got lucky this time. But try again next time, everybody. Hopefully it'll turn out better for you in the chat. Thanks for the redeem, though, Aaron. Rig. Yeah, the reg command is in effect. What do we have next? Oh, Mentos. Okay. So we'll keep it here. All right, it's been a minute, so let's get some Mentos trick going. Josh, I don't remember if you were here for that last time. I don't think so, because like the first successful Mentos trick was on July the 3rd when we did the Pac-Man stream. You were on in June, so it was just before. So you have not seen this yet. So please enjoy while you keep enjoying that incredible sandwich.
And Elena, these are some good redemptions. I'm not gonna lie. All the turkey mods are like, "Hey Josh, what are you gonna do with these? What are you gonna?"
I absolutely endorse the one with the jelly beans. I'm curious to see how you would respond to these flavors.
Some of them sound pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie.
No doubt, no doubt. But you do like spicy food, so you could always do like a Packy Chip challenge, not as a redeem, but like as a separate stream. Or you could do like the Death Nut challenge, or you could
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want company, I can help you. Well, I could do...
That would be great.
We'll see how long it takes before we get... I did do the Death Nut challenge on Irene's channel. Oh my goodness, that took me to other planets. It was it's pretty unreal. Oh, Aaron, I feel that. So Aaron says, I did Bean Boozled once with my cousin. Once. And we both vowed never again. I get it. And somehow I keep going back. I don't know. But this is the Mentos trick. So if you remember in the mid-2000s, people were trying out Mentos tablets inside of diet soda. And the results were pretty spectacular. Now, this is a smaller scale version of the Mentos trick. So we have it all contained here in this little container. But let's see what it looks like here on stream for all of you. And thank you for the redeem, Peter, the Mod Love Doctor PTB01. Thanks so much. All right, here we go.
Right on.
That was nice. Peter, again, thank you for the redeem. That was a good one. So that was well done. Let me see. Let's go back here. 97 Dreamer says, my dad takes handfuls of the beans all at once. I don't know how he does it. Yeah.
Wow. That's intense, Elena.
Well, it is intense, no doubt. I mean, who just asked that question? Oh, Aaron says, are his taste buds functional? And wow. Quantum, your question, did that get anywhere? Amazingly, no. We've done this a few times, so it took a little bit of trial and error. And the worst case of it was where it spilled all over my computer keyboard, and then all my OBS scenes started changing on their own. And
oh no,
that was rough. That was wild. Let me get that clip over there for you all before I do starting lineup. I'll show you what I meant.
That is so funny.
It's pretty nuts. Here it comes. Yeah. It was a disaster. It really was. Here's a clip. So we have one more redeem before we continue our conversation, and it's from our friend CT, who has redeemed starting lineup. And so if you want to be in our lineup, we'll announce your name in the chat, basketball style. Josh, you've seen this before. I think you've seen this before.
I love this one.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
oh,
thank you.
Goodness,
thank
this
you.
This is phenomenal.
The popular one. So let's do it. Oh, and it's even better now. I'll show you what I mean. So. Let's see. Davey told me a warning about the Mentos trick. Don't try it at home. Which I wish I could. Yeah, you might do damage to valuable property if you try it at home without a lot of careful engineering and planning. So exclamation point lineup. Let's get yourselves in the lineup, including our friend Josh, who we will put in the lineup either way. Awesome. Let's go. All right, here we go. Let's do it. And now, the starting lineup for your Davey's Eating a Sandwich Show Chat! Chat needs to be wake up a little bit here, a little bit quiet. There we go. Leading off, back in the Sandwich Show Chat, one of our participants coming up on Borkfest on April the 1st, our art streamer and mod friend, the Queen of Chaos, Erin 8686. And joining us from another unit of time and or space, let's give it up for Quantum Esquire. And new to Twitch streaming, but always a mod here on the platform. Good friend of the Turkeys, good friend of Carly Sings, good friend of the Sandwich Show, and one of our singers on karaoke nights. When we do those specials, music is in his name, Chris Thompson, CT Music. Anthony, have a great night. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time too, hopefully. Thank you so much for stopping in. Next up in our lineup, could be called Eden. Let's say hello to the Garden of Paradise. It'd be great if your name really was Eden. That'd be really funny. And then, one of the important, crucial organizers of the Show Heart charity concert around the globe, and one of our beloved mods of Josh Taerk music from across the pond, Peter, aka the Mod Love Doctor PTB01. And coming into the chat, thank you for the new follow. Let's give it up for 97 Dreamer. And lastly but not leastly, our collab guest tonight, a Billboard Hot 100 Top 40 charting artist, and the front. Oh yeah, and the front. What is this? And the organizer for the Show Heart Charity Stream Fest, alongside being the featured performer. He's a Turkey friend through and through, working on some new original music. Josh Taerk. And thank you for everybody for coming in, Turkey Nation. Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries, your Davey's Eating a Sandwich Show Chat. Thanks, everybody. Love it. Me too. Oh, thank you, Josh. Appreciate your kind words. Let's see. So, last thing, I think from, it was from, who was it? It's the Garden of Paradise. I was curious about the name, and the comment is, my handle is named after birds of paradise. Oh, okay, right on.
Very nice.
Love the birds
Very
of paradise.
nice.
That is cool. Super cool. So thanks, everybody, for your participation in the lineup redeem. It's really cool. I ain't angry PFP. I do also want to thank you for the 2 gift subs. I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier, but actually it's 3. Holy cow. I ain't angry. You're at it again. He's just like one of the most generous guys on the platform. It's crazy.
He is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Angry is absolutely incredible.
You can't be angry with all this generosity.
You can't be angry with I ain't angry. That is very true.
That is a true story. I love that. How much time do we have here? Okay, so Josh, just really quickly, because I'm not going to be able to sleep at night unless I know. What is your favorite of the Disney animated movies? We can either go classic or Pixar or really anything from anything, like literally any animated movie that you can think of.
That is a really good question. So I think the first one that I ever saw when I
Hmm.
was younger, I think the first one that my parents ever took me to was Pocahontas, and that one is I love that movie. Um, but I think my favorite has to be Treasure Planet.
Uh-oh. I love it because you have agreement in that area. It's so interesting because my cousin Firelord Critch, shout out Firelord underscore Critch,
Nice.
also thinks that's his favorite movie. He had it S
It's
tier, like we were doing a
phenomenal.
tier list. That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
It's a great movie. The message is terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the idea of like the redemption story, but also him kind of finding his way. And I was a big fan of like Treasure Island, and so I thought they did a really good job of adapting that to like a space kind of like intergalactic theme.
Love it. Yeah, that's a very very cool response, and Aaron loves it. Yes, Josh. Yes, that's cool. Love it. Yeah. CT says two choices: support my dude Josh or live under a frickin' rock. Duly noted.
CT, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But what's so interesting, Aaron, and I love this. Aaron says, "Oh, Firelord and I went off. Treasure Planet was not allowed to go below S. This is true. We put it on the S tier.
There you go.
Nicely done." Uh, Mod loves. Peter says, "Not sandwich related, but I'm curious. What's your favorite cuisine and why? Is that for me or for you, Josh, or for both of us? Well, I'll give it to you first. Kind of ahead of the
That's tricky.
yeah.
You know, I feel like it changes on a daily basis for me depending on like how I'm feeling. I would say that over the last year I've really gotten into like um I guess it would be yeah, like ramen. Love ramen. I I I always liked noodles like outside of the soup for the longest time, but over the last like year and a half, I would say, ramen is just phenomenal. And the different kind of soup bases that you can get, some of them are like crazy spicy, some
Mm-hmm.
of them aren't spicy at all. And also just like from a health standpoint, like the benefits that you can get from stuff like ramen or pho and the way that the bone broth is made and the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that you can add into it, I think is really cool. And it's a great like alternative to some of the stuff that I was used to ordering before. So I would have to say that like Japanese, but also like more specifically the ramen side of Japanese would be
I
my
dig
favorite.
that. That's ramen is very very tasty. Um, I'm a fan too. That's an awesome choice. It's a personal preference. So it's obviously not. There's no right answer. So it's perfectly. But
Absolutely.
but it is a great choice. I will say. The one for me is tough. I don't know. It just depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Mexican food a lot. I'm in the mood for Italian food a lot. Right. I'm in the mood for Indian food a lot. Chinese food
Love
sometimes.
Indian food. Oh my
It's
goodness.
butter chicken. Mwah, mwah,
Right?
amazing, amazing. Um, that's and then curry is so good.
Oh, it's terrific.
It's
The
just
the
terrific.
biryani when they mix it with the rice.
Yes,
Lovely.
tremendous.
Lovely.
Uh, mm. So those are our answers, Peter. Mine is I don't know if I had to cut out the other ones. I guess I would say Mexican food just because I'll never not like it. So that's probably my choice. But I love all kinds of food. I don't really settle on any one. Um, oh, Indonesian, interesting, yeah. And I was gonna say Thai too, because Thai is
Nice.
like really good. Like it's we're into like if you're into spicy food, really good call. So
Absolutely.
good choices, everybody. Um, Josh, what are your favorite sandwich shops? It's a good question.
So it really depends on which city we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a deli here in Toronto, Panzer's Deli, which is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely phenomenal. And like they got all the classic like corned beef, smoked meat. They do like tongue sandwiches and liver as well,
Oh
which are
wow.
phenomenal. I know they sound gross, but they are like the best things ever. Um, there's actually like my favorite sandwich place of all time would have to be this place. They've got a couple chains in Colorado, and then I think one in somewhere in Texas, but they're called Snarfs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are ever near a Snarf sandwich shop, like, you gotta go and try this, because like the sandwiches are great, the bread is really quality, but they have this entire secret menu that's on their website.
Really?
And it's like a secret, but not really a secret. But they have this one sandwich called the German dog, which is like a foot-long sandwich. They take like 2 or 3 hot dogs, and they put them on the sandwich. Spicy mustard, sauerkraut, hot pickles. They've got what else do they put on it? Like mayonnaise. There's this whole like symphony of flavors and textures, and I have never in my life tasted something like this. If you are anywhere near a Snarf's, the German dog, it's got to happen.
Yeah, I like Aaron's is so giant hot dog, which is pretty much, yeah, but it sounds really good.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah. Generally speaking, indeed. So it's about time for random questions, so we'll keep going. I'll ask my question about cars in the random questions just to make that more efficient. But before we go to random questions, we'll introduce you to one more streamer in our Stream Fest. And who we have here is coming up at 3 o'clock Eastern on April the 1st when we get to Borkfest, which should be a really good, really fun, action-packed day. Let's say hello to music streamer Cecily Music. Let me find the button first. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Just playing on Twitch. I'm playing my songs for the world. When suddenly I see a lot of people coming in. Oh, I see a lot of people. It's a raid. Oh, it's a raid.
All right, so that's Cecily Music, who has a lot of original songs. She will be part
of
of
lovely raid song.
Oh yeah, very, very cool raid song. And so we'll catch Cecily at 3 o'clock Eastern on Friday, April 1st on Borkfest. Which, will she play music? Time will tell. Maybe she'll just do some arts and crafts. Maybe she'll be cooking. We don't know. That's the excitement of it. We'll find out momentarily.
There you go.
Josh, before we go to randoms, because you mentioned the raid song, and when I heard that raid song, I thought of your raid song too, because you have an original raid song, and I was always curious what your inspiration was for it.
To be honest, it just kind of happened one
Okay.
stream. What we would do before is when we would get a raid, I would start talking to everybody, and I would be like, "Oh my God, this is great!" And I started to go like, "I want there to be like a thing that happens when we have a raid." And so we kind of programmed, like the intro to Midnight Mustang playing when the Raiders came in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was one day I just started like playing those chords and singing "We Got a Raid." And I was like, this kind of works. Like, let's keep this. And, everybody seemed to really be enjoying it. And so I was like, okay, cool. That's the raid song.
Nice. So it's based off of Midnight Mustang. That's cool too. But that's a great call. Like it kind of personalizes the, and especially like you tailor it for each channel. So it's like if Emily Louise 87, you like Emily Louise 87. Thank you for the raid. That's so cool. That's super cool. All right.
I love the idea of people coming in and bringing their fans and their community to a whole new streamer and a whole new community. And so I figured it was the least I could do to kind of say thank you, and like.
Mm-hmm.
Present like a little like, hey, let's shout them out, let's give them a little moment.
That's very cool of you to do that. And Aaron adds, well, yeah, everyone enjoyed it. It was you singing. Yes.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words, Aaron. So, folks, it is once again that other time, and let's go ahead and give you a chance to ask questions of Josh in what we call America's favorite moment in Twitch broadcasting.
To the dance, it's time for random questions. Good stuff. Ask us anything.
All right, let's open the queue of mods and let's ask anything of our friend Josh Taerk. I'll add a question as well. And as you know,
Man,
Josh,
can I just say first, you got the best theme songs for your segments on this show. Like just every one of them, I'm bopping along to. Like it's great.
I appreciate you. Thank you for that, Josh. That's really nice of you to say that. Yeah, they're really fun. I really have enjoyed all these cool little quirks we have on the show. So the music is, I always find music to be a crucial part of any program, and I'm sure you'd feel the same. So it's cool that you feel the same. That's nice of you to say that. Thank you. All right, so if you have a question for Josh or even for me, exclamation point question followed by the question itself. I'm gonna have a question too, so I'm gonna throw it in there myself. So Quantum, I appreciate you. You should do this professionally. I wish I could. I wish I could. The thing about radio, I know, Josh, I'm sure you would know because you've had music and it's been in radio, but the thing that's tricky about radio is that radio in general is just not a high-paying profession, which is why it's tough to really invest in that as a career. But have you had any real interaction with the industry to that where you could comment on where it could be lucrative, where it can't be?
I think it really all depends on which stations you're involved with.
Mm-hmm.
I know that as far as from the music standpoint anyway, the radio side of things has taken a bit of a dip in the last couple of years because you've got so many streaming services that are available where people can actually choose what they're listening to as opposed to like listening to a playlist that's dictated by the station. So because of that, there's kind of been a little bit of a drop off on radio. But what it's segued into is stuff like the podcasts and the kind of, whether it's the true crime stuff or whether it's the actual like interview based on music channels like Apple Music has a whole bunch of old radio DJs that have now kind of transferred over and are like doing original content and interviews for Apple Music and for Spotify and for Pandora. And so it's a very similar thing, I feel like the whole idea of the interview process and the DJ process. The only thing that's changing is kind of the format, as far as from AM FM to more of like a digital streaming kind of transfer system. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you get in with a company like that, it's still a pretty good job.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'll also add this: if you're speaking about television, which is certainly more lucrative, that's definitely the dream. Like doing a TBS talk show on cable television, like that would be the dream. Absolutely, I'd love to do that. It'd be really cool. Right. So it's nice that you think that highly of this program, though. That's really nice of you to say.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
You got something real cool here, Davey.
Thank you, Josh. Sure. Thank you. You know. And it's folks like yourself that make it cooler all the time. I love doing this. This is really a fun thing to do every week. So let's get to the questions. We got a lot of them tonight. I hope the question... Wait, I think did we answer the question of waffles, pancakes, or French toast, or crepes? Where'd you weigh in on that?
I would say they're all phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to say from a standpoint of like actual like syrup and or topping retention, waffles.
Ooh, so for versatility
you got like
purposes.
Little pockets in there that you can like the fruit or the marshmallows or the chocolate sauce or the ice cream can like sit in so you can put more on top of it.
Hey, there it is. All right, so yeah, this is great. Disappointment. Aaron wanted the French toast. She's French toast all the way.
I mean, French toast is great too.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
100%. Yeah, we both couldn't spell waffles. It's just so bad. So bad. Let me see. Oh, why isn't that showing up? Oops. Oh well. Waffles. Yeah, thanks, Joms, for picking us up. Welcome in, Joms. Good to see you again, James. It's nice to catch up with you. All right, so Peter, if nothing else, if not just the mod, he's also a good troll. His question.
There you go. Absolutely.
Who's your favorite mod?
Of course Peter would ask that question. Of course. You know what? I can't. Honestly, all of you guys are my favorite because you all add different energy and do different things on the stream. That for me, like the mod team wouldn't function if just one piece wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody adds their own flavor to it, and everybody provides different levels of inspiration for the things that we do on stream. You know, we started doing a little bit more country music because Elena was a country music fan. We started to like have trivia questions be part of the thing because Peter loved talking about music and loved talking about trivia. And I think even like the Bruce Springsteen medley kind of happened with Peter. And then, you know, with Robbie G, we've started to get into all of this, like the Pokemon stuff, and we've started to do a lot more of like these commands that are a little bit more intricate than the stuff that we had before. And Swimmy with the Turbo Flex, or like all of that stuff, it comes from me being able to interact with our mod team and develop friendships with each individual person, but also seeing the way that the mods interact with the turkeys and see where that goes and all of the fun stuff that kind of comes up through that. So I would have to say that I'm just so blessed to have the mod team that I do, and that you guys are all such a big part of the channel.
A wonderfully crafted diplomatic answer, Josh, as I've come to expect from a well-accomplished musician as yourself. Aaron says, in short, it's like being a parent. You can't choose one, but there is one. You just won't say who.
Aaron. Shh. No, just...
That's an excellent comment. Oh, my goodness. Any other mods in the chat, add that as a quote. That's pretty good. Let's see. Quantum Esquire, what makes you inspired? Quite a question.
That's a great question. I find that life, I know that sounds crazy, but living life and going through both the ups and the downs of life, that's where some of the best songs, in my opinion, that I've ever written have come from. I actually just had an experience recently where I was like, I'd really like to write another song, and I was kind of in this place where I was like throwing around some ideas, but nothing was really sticking. And I went out to kind of like to meet some people about a show that we've got coming up over the next little bit. I was going to meet the team at this venue that we're playing a show. It's for those of you that are in the Toronto area, we have an amazing show coming up on May 13th, in real life show at this legendary venue in Toronto called the El Macombo. And if you look up the El Macombo, you've got the Rolling Stones that have played there, Springsteen's played there, Duran Duran has played there, Elvis Costello, U2, like you name it, they've played the Elmo when they've come to Toronto. And so I was going down to meet the team there, and on the way, I just started to get this melody in my head, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, and kind of had this rhythm in the back of my mind. And I got a phone call from a buddy. And I'm not going to give too much detail on the phone call, but he was going through some pretty big changes in his life. And it started to get me thinking about what that would mean and what those changes would mean. And when that moment would come in life, as it always does, it usually comes when you're not expecting it. And that night I got home, it was probably around 1 or 2 in the morning, and I started writing a song.
Wow.
And it's a big part of what I love so much about doing this and what I do generally, is that I never know where that inspiration is going to come from, but I always know that it's kind of there waiting for me to have that moment, have that experience, whether it's, you know, the highest of highs or the lowest of lows. There's always something that I can take out of it and turn into a story. And that's what I love about music so much.
Yeah, that tracks, because I remember your story about how you came up with Was it Midnight Mustang? Yeah, it was. It's like you were talking about how it was like an allegory to things in your life, and I thought that was a great story. So
Thank you.
let's continue with these questions. So many questions. My goodness, this is a great cue tonight, everybody. Thank you very much for shipping in. Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I an angry PFB. A question that I was thinking of, too. How is the new music coming along, Josh?
Angry, thank you for asking. And Davey, you too. The new music is coming along. I am so excited about this stuff. Like we have been kind of listening back to the songs and kind of we're in the process now of figuring out we have all the parts. How loud do we want certain sections? When do we want certain things to come in? And so we're just kind of fine tuning, putting like the decorations and the final layer of icing on the cake at this point. And every time I hear what we have and every time I hear like the latest version of what we have, the first thing that comes to my mind is I cannot wait for the turkeys to hear this. I am so excited about this music in a way that is so different from any of the experiences that I've had in the past, just because I think of how this all came about and being able to like come out of quarantine and still have so many restrictions, especially in Canada, but to be able to find a way around that and to be able to make music and to continue doing what I love to do in that process. I'm so excited about the songs. I'm so excited about what we were able to do with the songs. And I honestly can't wait for you guys to hear it. And it's going to be soon. Like we're very close.
I love that. And, you know, I'm with you on that in one regard that I can't wait to hear this. And I'm sure a lot of us feel the same. 97 Dreamer had the same question. What's the update on the new album? I think we got it. But just to add to that, what is the name of the new album going to be for those who are not familiar?
That's a really good question. I haven't really thought of a name yet. It's funny, every time we've kind of gotten to that stage, what I've found is I've gone, oh, like we need a name for this thing. And typically that's when I've written the song that becomes the song for the album that, you know, it takes its name from, whether it was Here's to Change or Beautiful Tragedy. But for the first record, it was just kind of, okay, we need a name. And we were trying to think of all of this creative stuff. And then one night it just kind of happened and it clicked. And so I know that moment is going to be, it's going to be very soon, that moment. And I'm very excited to find out what it's going to be called.
So you're waiting for the inspiration to strike. I love it. I look for I will be ready when you are. That's awesome. Aaron with a comment. You know he's excited. If he was animated, his eyes would be stars right now.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. I am super excited about this new music. I can't wait for y'all to hear it. And I can't say enough wonderful things about the producer that I've been working with, and just this has been such a phenomenal collaboration to the point where we'll spend like an hour on the phone together talking about stuff, and we'll build off of each other's ideas. So one of us will say, hey, what do you think about doing this? And we'll try it, and then we'll be like, oh, you know what we should do? We should also do this. And it's amazing because it feels like you know when you find like your best friend on the playground and you start playing pretend and you start, you know, creating these characters in this world, and you start playing this game, and it ends up being bigger than you ever thought it could be because you're like so excited to be there with each other doing this. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're playing with Legos. We're building this thing from the ground up, and it's bigger than the sum of its parts, you know?
Yeah, I like that's, and I think that's the beautiful thing about albums. Like they really are the product of multiple different people. It's a really good point, and I'm looking forward to the finalized product. And the people in the chat have ideas for your album title. So let's hear them. Let's see.
Oh, that's awesome.
Peter says album title: The Forever Unnamed. 97 Dreamer says you can call it For the Turkeys. Pretty good.
Ooh, I like that.
Angry says, how about naming it Here's to Beautiful Josh?
I like that, Angry. I like that.
And then Peter with another one, call it I Love My Mods.
Another great suggestion.
Well done, everybody in chat. That's awesome. So next up, the Garden of Paradise. What is your favorite fan story?
Favorite fan story? That's a really good question. I think my favorite story was when I was on my first and second tour in the UK, and we went to this seaside town called Skegness. We were playing at this beautiful theater there, and we had finished our set, and there was a brief intermission before the band I was opening for was going to go on. And when that would happen, I would go out and I would kind of meet with people and talk with people at the show. And so I was standing at the table, and these two sisters came over, started talking to me about the music, and one of them said, I really like Start Again. And she said, I'm going through this period where I'm kind of questioning what I'm doing with my life, and your song really inspired the idea that, you got to go out there and take chances. And I had said, what is it that you've been thinking about doing? And she said, I'd love to be a singer, but it's a very scary thing for me because I don't know what that means for my future. And I said, you get a million shots to do a million different things in life, but you only get one to really live life to the fullest. So if music is something that you think you should try and do, I say do it. And we ended up talking a little bit, and her little sister was hanging out with us and talking about the music, and then they went back in to go see the show. I went backstage, and we went on with the rest of the tour. Flash forward to basically a year to the day.
Ooh.
We're back in the town. We're playing the show again at the same theater, and I walk out of the backstage area, and I notice this person that looks really familiar standing there waiting for me. And she kind of holds back a little bit. I talk to a whole bunch of different people, and then as the show is about to start up again, everybody goes in, and I'm kind of packing up and getting ready to go backstage when she comes over and she says, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I was here with my sister the first time you came through town, and we were talking to you about your song Start Again. And immediately I went back to that moment, and I was like, oh, my God, absolutely I remember you. How are you doing? How's your sister doing? And I said, did she ever kind of figure out what she wanted to do? She said, yeah, actually, after she talked to you that night, she enrolled in a music composition and vocal performance degree, and she's just about to graduate. And I remember going, oh my God, that's so exciting. Thank you so much. And for telling me, that's really exciting. And I went backstage and I had this thing playing in my mind over and over again. And when I got to the hotel room, I just broke down in tears. Because I was
Really?
that is the most beautiful moment that I've ever experienced in my life so far. The fact that something in the music that I was writing to help me understand life better helped somebody else find the next thing that they were supposed to do, find their next step. And that feeling was just, I've never experienced anything like it. And from that moment on, I was like, this is, if there was ever any doubt of what I should be doing with my life, that moment was like, nope, I'm in the right place. The way I'm feeling right now, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
That's just amazing. That's an incredibly heartfelt story, and it's, yeah, Aaron, am I right? I mean, totally not crying. She says, that's a great story. That's a great story. An incredibly touching moment.
Yeah, I go back to that moment constantly in my mind, just as a reminder of because I also took it as a reminder of, look, we're artists in general, I feel, have this incredible ability to help make sense of things that in any other format shouldn't or won't make sense. Life is messy, life is tricky, and both in a really great way and sometimes in a really hard way. And I knew that music for me when I was growing up was a really great way for me to be able to relate to certain things that I couldn't necessarily articulate for myself or couldn't necessarily put my finger on it at the time. And so when I started writing music, it was always a dream of mine to be able to do that for somebody else. And if nothing else, just be able to put something out there that somebody else could take in and know, okay, like I'm going to be okay.
I was just thinking, the line that comes to my head when my takeaway from that story is, that is why you do what you do. It sounds like that is it right there. That's incredible. So thank you so much for that question. And I'm trying to remember who it was that asked it, but an incredible question. And thank you so much for that question. So next up, we go to Sci-Fi Sadie. The question is, how many guitars do you own?
That depends on who you ask. If you ask me, never enough. If you ask my entire family, way too many. I have quite a good collection of guitars going at this point, and I'm a bit of a I put a lot of memories and nostalgia with certain things that were around at that time. So I have 2 acoustic guitars other than the 12 string, and those 2 acoustics I've had basically since I started learning how to play. The first one was a gift from my parents when I started learning how to play the guitar at like 13, 14. And I still have that guitar. It doesn't have any plugins or anything. I can't put it through a mixer or anything like that, but I love that guitar because I started playing music on that guitar. I learned how to do what I do on that guitar. And then the other one that you'll occasionally see on stream when I'm not playing Priscilla is it's basically like the next guitar that I got because I was looking for a guitar that I could plug in. Because when I started working as a camp counselor, they would ask me to play at like these shows that they would have every Friday. And in order to do that, I would need to actually plug the guitar into the system. So we found this really beautiful sounding guitar, and I started playing that. And, I mean, if you look at this thing, it's got bumps and scrapes and dents, and like I'm surprised it doesn't have holes, but it's close. And because I brought it everywhere with me, like the paint is coming off on the neck, but I wouldn't trade that thing for anything. And I've got a couple of different electric guitars as well that I've actually used on the new recordings, which has been fantastic. And so each guitar has a story. Each guitar has a moment in my life that it kind of came into my life. And yeah, they're all, if you ask me, they all sound completely different. But I'm not sure if they would sound that way to everybody else. But for me, it's like each guitar kind of has its own personality, its own style. And when I pick it up, there are certain things that I like playing with that guitar more than with others. It's almost like it's got its own, kind of soul.
Yeah, that's... It sounds like you're having just as much of a tough time deciding between your favorite guitars as you might be with mods and as you might be with children. It seems like a similar
I mean,
story.
it's picking a favorite. It's like it's everything has their own vibe and their own energy, and like in that moment, there could be one guitar that's like that's the perfect guitar for that moment, and that's one of the things that I loved about being able to bring all of them to the studio with me was that we would cycle through them and we go, okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. No, that's the sound. And that would be the guitar that we'd use for that track. And I feel very similarly with whether it's what's your favorite song or what's your favorite. Everything has its moment, and everything is there and kind of jumps out at you in that moment for a specific reason. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like that's life's way of pointing you in the right direction.
I dig it, and I think this is what makes guitarists, the art of guitar, such a unique concept. Because I might see with harmonicas, I wouldn't say that with pianos. Like this piano here and this piano over here. Like I feel like most people have just one or two at the most. So
For sure.
it's fascinating to see the how you compare the different instruments. This from Aaron though, I love this. This electric here, it's got attitude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is fantastic. Yeah, exactly, Peter. That's kind of what I was getting at too. Josh, I love your impartiality, but these diplomatic answers are killing the questions that lead to the drama.
Peter, I like that. Peter's just looking to start a fight. Peter's like, "Come on, man,
It's what
give me
trolls-
something."
It's what mods do. Mods like to do that. I've seen it with several of my friends. It's good stuff. Okay, so let's go to Chris Thompson CT Music's question, which I think could be a layup for you, but we'll see. Maybe you'll surprise us. The question is, Josh, which do you like better, turkeys or chickens?
Ooh. Are we talking about like strictly from like an eating place or like a friendship place? Because I feel like from a friendship place, like there are a lot of turkeys here in this chat and a lot of turkeys that I know that like would not want to know what life is like without them. From an eating standpoint, I would have to say like one of my favorite things to eat is chicken wings. And so
Ooh.
I would have to say, because you also like you got to think about it. Like
Right.
I'm a turkey, I'm not going to eat other turkeys.
Oh, that's fair.
Like, that's you
fair.
know what I
Good-
mean.
that's
Like
a
out
good
of
point. Good
courtesy,
point.
that's not like a thing. But like chicken is fair game. You know, like that's
So yeah, you're done, chicken. Let's go.
there you go.
I love that. That's a great. See, and that's why I think the question still works. I was thinking, oh, Josh is totally gonna say turkeys. Like it's not even gonna be close. But your answer is great. It's a great answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Dave.
And thank you for the question, CT. So, what did CT add to that? The animals, Josh. I'm talking about the animals. Well,
The animals.
so if you evaluate them as pets, I guess is the question. Who would you prefer of the two?
Well, I mean, in that case, I would have to go with the turkey because that's like my spirit animal at that moment.
Yeah.
I would have to say turkey.
Yep. Oh, Quantum calls us out. Look at this. Quantum says, "Didn't you have a turkey sandwich the first time you were on the show?"
Did I?
You did.
Oh my gosh.
I think you did. And it was on
Wow.
this giant egg charlotte bread. And I think I have the picture. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I think I got
Oh
it.
wow! To all of the turkeys, I am so sorry to commit such an atrocity on the Twitch airwaves.
It was an
I will
innocent
have
mistake. It's all right. It's
There you go. Gonna have to make a pilgrimage to Turkey
oh,
to like
it's terrific.
repent for my sins.
Good times. Can't seem to find it. That's okay. Let's move on. It's probably a good call to move on here. Let's see. Oh, I love. Okay, Peter with a great question. So here it is. If you could collab with 5 streamers, and I assume he means Twitch streamers. I think that's Twitch streamers for a
Okay.
Twitch EP. Who would you want and why?
Very cool. I would have to say Josh Wu for sure. Because the Josh power is strong.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he's got an incredible range. Like vocally, like his range is absolutely ridiculous. So that would be a really cool collaboration. I would say Justin and Evelyn. That
Hell
would
yeah.
be so much fun. Oh my goodness. So yeah, definitely Justin and Evelyn. We've got Josh Wu music, Calvin Thomas for sure.
Yeah. Thumbs
What
up.
a guy, and like such a beautiful heart too.
Mhm.
Like I love and phenomenally talented musician. I don't think there's an instrument that guy can't play. Thinking here, let me see.
You have two left.
Jane Rio would be really cool.
Whoa, and I love the call. Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
such a good voice. Man, great
Especially
call.
like she's got that kind of like R&B vibe, and like
Yeah.
that's very left field for me as far as like what I'm used to doing, and so that would be a really cool collaboration, because when you get two people that come from different worlds musically and you bring them together, what they end up creating is something totally unique and different than what they would have done on their own. So that would be a really cool collaboration.
Well, I would just love to hear what that sounds like.
Right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a fantastic one.
And
So I think you got one
I
more.
agree. She's got a ridiculous voice too.
Really, she really does. She really does. Like, I want to like go over and rate her just so I can hear that song she does when the raids. Her raid song is just like
Right?
ooh, so smooth,
Amazing.
so good.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd probably say Courtney.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney's got a really, really unique voice, really cool voice. And I love the kind of like like taking aside the kind of like goth kind of look that she has, there's something very deep and dark in a very cool way about her tone, the way that she sings, the way that she plays the guitar, and there's like a very cool like emotional resonance that delivers. So that would be very cool as well. Can I get a sixth, because I feel like I'm leaving somebody out?
Baker's dozen 6. Yeah, let's go for it. Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Jordan Lane would be the sixth
Yes.
for sure.
Hell
Jordan
yeah.
Lane is phenomenally
Yes.
talented, and she is one of the nicest people that I've ever met. And she's just got another like incredibly unique voice, but so perfect for the kind of music that she writes and the kind of music that she plays. And like her songwriting is really, really cool. And again, that would be a phenomenal collaboration.
I have nothing but great things to say about Jordan Lane as well. Man, she's blown up. Like in the last like year or so. Oh my goodness! Like she's a superstar now. It's crazy.
Right.
Like it's so like. What was the thrill like when she reached out and said, "Yes, let's do Show Heart"? Like, what was that? What was the thrill like when she found out?
I was so excited when she said that she would be involved. Like we had been chatting for a while, just both being Canadian musicians and talking about the industry and that kind of thing. But when she reached out, like I had reached out to her with the idea, and when she said, you know, can you give me some more information on the charity? She actually like one of the only people that actually asked, like, can you send me the link? I want to read up on this. I want to know what I'm getting involved in. Not that there's anything wrong with either way of going about it, but it really showed when she was on the stream and she was talking about some of the initiatives and the way that she was talking about it. She like really went in and did a deep dive on what this charity does. And yeah, just like I was so excited when she said she could do it, and when I got on that stream, she was just ready, like she always is, to do the stream, to perform. She sounded phenomenal, and I was like, this is everything I could have asked for in this moment and more. Like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's that. I didn't realize she did all that. That's really cool. Yeah, so that's really great. That's really great. You know, much love to Jordan Lane. I mean, she doesn't know who I am, but it's great that she knows who you are.
She is phenomenal.
Yeah, 100%. I just did the command because I think you all need, even though she has as many followers as she does, I think there can never be too many, because I think she, like you said, she's really nice. She's really incredibly good. She had a single produced by Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park last year.
That is really cool.
That's legit. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So let's continue with the questions. Let's see. Oh, and I love this one from Quantum.
Oh my God.
What is your favorite thing Matt's ever cooked?
Wow. That's so there was one night this year that he did like a Chinese food night. So he made chicken lo mein, he made like fried chicken balls, he did egg rolls, he did like a Mongolian beef kind of situation, and it was some of the best fried rice, and it was some of the best food that I've ever had in my life, period. And so that was
Ooh.
probably my favorite night, and I've been begging him ever since to do that again.
I'm curious as to what the prep time would be for that versus maybe, more
Oh,
traditional.
he was doing it all day.
Oh,
Like he
really?
was in because it was like a lot of the sauces he was making from scratch, and a lot of the like ingredients. He would have to make the ingredients to then put into the thing that he was making later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are a
Yeah.
lot of components to something like that. So I guess that
Oh, yeah.
tracks. That really does. And Aaron, I love lo mein too, and that's cool. That's really cool. How is your brother's channel doing, by the way? I know he has a YouTube venture.
It's doing pretty well.
Cool, cool.
He's been tossing around some ideas of like whether he wants to do like an ice cream thing, because he's been really getting
Yes.
into ice cream lately.
Yes.
And so he's been
Ice cream.
trying to figure out whether he wants to like go down the ice cream route or kind of go down the more like entree main course kind of route for starting out in like the cooking world. But I'm really excited to see what he comes up with, because all of the stuff that he makes is real top shelf.
Yeah.
So I'm like very excited to see what he does.
I am too. I hope but I'm biased, but I hope he chooses ice cream. I think that would be a tremendous angle.
It's phenomenal.
I love it.
Like the ice cream that he makes is just he like a little while ago he was trying to figure out how to make like a dairy-free ice cream but still have it be really creamy, and so he did this like coconut tres leche cake, but it's dairy-free. Like he has the tres leche cake in the ice cream
Okay.
with no dairy, and the ice cream has no dairy. It's all like coconut based. It was phenomenal. Like you didn't miss the dairy. I was like, this is insane.
Boy, that's that is genius
Yeah.
right there at work. Really cool. Really cool. Just a quick reminder to the chat. Just if you want me to eat more jelly beans tonight, you can by way of starting a hype train. And I'll explain more how that works if we get there. But if you haven't had enough of me eating nasty jelly beans, that's one way to get there. But back to the questions. 97 Dreamer with a very deep question, and the question is: favorite lyrics you wrote. Favorite lyrics. that you wrote.
Favorite lyrics I wrote. That's a really good question. That's a tough one too, because it really depends on the moment for me. Like there are times where different songs, even from like my past, will come back up or come back around for me, and I'll remember a line that I wrote in that moment, and I'll go, "Wow, that was a really powerful line," or "That's a really powerful moment." I guess favorite line. Wow. I think one of my favorite lines definitely has to be at the beginning of Remember Ever After. Leafless trees like empty choirs darken outside in the autumn rain. Because one of my favorite writers, if not my favorite writer of all time, is Shakespeare.
Mhm.
And he has this beautiful sonnet that I love this sonnet, and I always wanted to try and figure out how I could bring some of that imagery into one of my songs. But I think it's in the 40s. I'm not sure what number this sonnet is, but it's that time in year thou seest in me, where autumn leaves or none or few do hang upon the boughs, which shake against the cold, bear ruined choirs where late the sweet bird sang. And I remember reading this in class and just like immediately going into this like almost video in my mind of what this would look like. and I loved that imagery of the choir, like relating empty branches to ruined choirs, and the idea of making this very natural thing very holy. And there was so much going on there that when I had the opportunity, I was sitting at my desk, and just kind of going through, like actually cleaning out my desk, and I stumbled upon my book of Shakespeare sonnets, and I opened it up and started reading through it. And it happened to be on a very rainy day, and so I looked out my window and I saw the tree, like right outside, and the branches with leaves that were just starting to fall. And the whole thing just kind of came into that moment, and I was like, oh my God, this is the song. And I started writing Remember Ever After.
Wow.
And so that would probably be one of my favorite lyrics to have written.
That is so cool. And look at these responses in the chat. Aaron says, oof, I love Remember Ever After. And Peter says that lyric paints a great picture. And Quantum knows Sonnet 73. This is amazing.
Oh, there you go.
Quantum wrote it all out.
Beautiful.
Wow. Love it. And let's say hello to Bruiser. Bruiser, welcome into the chat. Bruiser, it's so cool to have you here with us. I mean, that you can spend time to carve out with me, Josh, and myself. That's really nice of you. So we love you, Bruiser. Welcome in. Good to see you tonight. I do know that
Bruiser, much love, man.
Yeah, Bruiser's a good mod too. And if Bruiser streamed, I would give him a shout out as well, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just, as I was saying, I can see Bruiser saying, I'm modding over at Emily McVicker's stream, who could be on the Sandwich Show in the near future. Stay tuned. But saw this pop up earlier and doing the quick hit and run. Well, it's so nice that you can hang out with us. That honestly, Bruiser, that really means a lot. Thank you so much. Let's see. Peter says, now I'm baffled. He can sing, he can dance, he loves food, and he quotes Shakespeare. I swear, Josh.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that, man.
Josh is like the perfect human, says Peter. That's really great. Yeah, thanks.
That means a lot, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Oh, Quantum, right on. Quantum says you got it from Google. Right on.
Quantum. I like it. You got it. Google is a wonderful tool for stuff like that.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
not going to lie.
Yeah. We've all got help from Google at one point in our lives.
Oh,
Many
absolutely.
points. Many points in our lives, yeah. And Aaron's right, too. Aaron says, plus, he has amazing hair. Bingo. Like,
thank you, Aaron.
what are some of the
appreciate
secrets
that.
to your amazing hair? I'm curious.
To be honest, it's just kind of does what it does. You know,
Okay.
when I was younger,
Yeah.
it was very curly, and then when I cut it shorter, I don't know what happened, but I guess it just kind of like went into a new phase of its life, and it's a little bit more like wavy now. So when I grow it out, it starts to get a little bit more of that volume, but it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of chilled out over the last little bit. So it just kind of does what it does.
All right.
And like that's a big thing for me, is that I just kind of let my hair kind of do what it does. So on any given day, if it like wants to go in a certain direction, or kind of feels like it's, I want to be more back today, I want to be more forward, I just kind of go, all right.
I love it.
Don't try and fight it.
Yeah, the chat's loving it. Let's see. Aaron says, Josh, oh, I'm just naturally perfect. No big deal. Quantum.
I appreciate that, Aaron. I appreciate that. I'm just happy being human. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's see. Quantum says Josh is too humble for that. All right. So I've got this for Peter. This is the Boom Roasted Redeem. This is a relatively new one.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Damn it, Peter. Why do you have to be such a supportive member of this community? Man, it's just great to see your face tonight. I remember the time we raided over to your channel from, I think Josh. Didn't you raid over to Peter at one point? I think
I think so.
I think so, yeah. You were playing FIFA. And my heart was so full when we did that. I'm like, that's right, Peter. We're getting you to affiliate today. I felt so good that day. So you really are a good human indeed. Even though we love your trollery, don't change who you are, because we enjoy the give and take. And thank you for joining us tonight. And you do a lot of work. I'll tell you. I mean, between the show heart and everything you do at Josh's channel and other channels, we respect you highly for what you do. So this has been the worst roast ever. Boom, roasted.
Boom, roasted. I like it.
It's true though, right, Peter? Josh single-handedly got me to affiliate, he says. It's true. I think that's right.
I was happy that we could raid into you, Peter. That worked out so well. And like all of the turkeys were so excited that they could be a part of that. Like that's one of the things that I love to do is like figure out when I'm streaming if there's like another member of the Turkeys family or somebody that's been really supportive of the channel. I love being able to go, all right, we're going over there. Everybody get ready. And Peter, I was so glad that we were able to do that for you, and so glad that you got affiliate. Like that's amazing. Well deserved.
Yeah, 100%, Peter. You deserve that for sure. And I do want to note some comments earlier in the chat when we were talking about the EP. So I think it was Aaron or Peter who asked, Jev collab stream when? Great question.
Ooh.
I think that should...
Which, sorry.
It was a while back. It was like, I think it was either somebody... They're asking... Let's see if I can find it here. But they're basically saying, when will you collab IRL with Justin and Evelyn? And I think...
Oh my God. I would love to do that. I think they're over on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
They're in like Seattle or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never been to Seattle.
Oh,
but,
nice!
Like, give me a reason to go to Seattle. I'd love to do that.
What
Are
if I
kidding?
told you I would be there too at some point during the year?
Oh, that would be phenomenal. Are you kidding? Have like a huge meetup? That would be unreal. Davey, I remember when we got to hang out in like California.
Oh,
that would
so
be nuts
good.
if we got to do that again.
That was just a highlight of the year for sure.
Oh, man.
It was great to meet you in person, and you were just absolutely smoked it in the live show you did.
Thanks,
there.
man.
That was great. That's really great.
I love getting up on stage.
Yeah.
There's just something that happens when they say go. You know?
Yeah. If there's a way that you can book a show in Seattle at some point during the year, that would be a good hook for all of us. And so
great.
we'll definitely be looking for that. Yeah.
Leave it with me. We'll figure it out.
I dig it. And Aaron says, when we set the date for JevCon, this is their own idea for a convention. Josh needs to come. With it, agree. We'll make it happen. We could all happen at once.
Amazing. I would love to come to JevCon. Are you kidding?
Me too. Yeah, that's going to be on the agenda, high priority. But yeah, no, I've never been either. I've never been to Seattle, and so I mirror your thoughts. Like, I think it'd be a really fun trip, and I hope you can make it happen too. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So Peter says, I say send Jeff to Toronto when I fly over. Oh, Peter, you're going to Toronto?
That could be cool too.
Ooh.
That could be very cool.
Yeah, that's an idea. Yeah, speaking of Toronto, there are a number of Twitch streamers in Toronto, and we know of KR. We know of Voice Unmuted. We know of Alana Matty. And Mike, you've met Katie, so we talked about that earlier. Have you met anybody else from that world in person?
Yeah, I've met KR a number of times.
Cool.
And like KR is just like one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. He is so kind. He is so supportive. Mm-hmm. He is always there for his friends, and that is just like he just resonates good energy. And so like I love getting to hang out with KR. Haven't gotten to hang out as much with Yamez, but Yamez is pretty close to the area. And so I'm looking forward to the day that we get to hang out, because he is amazing as well. Talk about good vibes. Yamez is amazing. And I haven't gotten to meet her, but Melissa Lamb is also from Toronto, and she is wonderfully kind as well. We didn't get the opportunity to kind of like do a collab and like meet up during the pandemic, but hopefully as things open, we'll be able to like figure something out.
Cool beans. I love it a lot.
Yeah.
And let's see, Ray. Yeah. Let's see, Melissa Lamb you mentioned. Who is it? I'm trying to figure out. Oh, Quantum says, I think KR just went live. His ears must be ringing. That is funny.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, and sorry, Maddie Rose acoustic as well.
All right, right.
Sorry,
right.
I know that Maddie was talking about moving a little while ago, which is why I didn't associate her with Toronto anymore.
right.
But Maddie Rose, I got to meet her as well. We haven't gotten the chance to like do a collab thing, but Maddie is absolutely phenomenal, and we actually play one of her songs on our stream, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that song a lot when it comes up.
Yep. All right. So, what else do we have here? My comment, Peter. Oh my God, I need Take a Chance with Me featuring Jev and the violin. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that would be unreal.
That would be so good. That'd be so good. Evelyn on the violin is pretty amazing. So
She's phenomenal.
Yeah, 100%. Peter's comment in the chat. I'll let you read that. That's funny. She did move.
I thought she was talking about moving out east though. Like she was talking about like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia kind of thing.
So she's moving 200 feet.
That's brilliant.
Good.
That's awesome.
It's good times. Question: do you know Raymond music?
Yes, I do know Rame. I haven't met up with Rame either, but she is phenomenal as well.
Cool.
There's a lot of really talented people like in the Toronto area that I would love to like. I'd love for like to get us all in the same room at one point, just so that we can like, you know, maybe even do this for Twitch, but like get everybody from Toronto in the same room and like do like a big songwriters round kind of thing. That could be really cool.
This is just great. I need to meet. Wait, who was it that moved? Melissa Lamb is the one that moved within the same building.
No, Maddie Rose.
Maddie Rose, yeah. In the same building.
Oh,
That's
man.
funny.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, I love that. All right, 2 more questions. One's for me. One will be from CT. Mods, go ahead and let's go ahead and close the queue. And so Chris Thompson has this question. And answer this as best as you can, if you're not familiar with the genre. But the question, Josh, what's your favorite EDM music artist from this list? So the choices are Zed, Calvin Harris, Avicii, David Guetta, or Marshmello.
I would have to say David Guetta because he's kind of the grandfather of that genre.
Mm-hmm.
Like him, and I feel the name was on my tongue. But the 2 guys that dress up like robots, Daft Punk. Thank you.
Oh yeah, right.
Those 2 artists really were at the forefront of the kind of dance music and electronic music genres. They kind of made it what it is, in my opinion, and they continued to push the limits of what it could do and what it could mean. So like all of the collabs that David Guetta started doing once he hit that kind of mainstream popularity was phenomenal, and the number of artists that he brought into that world I thought was very cool. Everybody from Usher to, I mean, like he was a big reason why Sia got discovered.
Was
just
that
song
thinking
Titanium.
Right, Titanium, yeah. I was just thinking of that.
And so like the impact, and like Daft Punk with Pharrell Williams, like that was a huge moment for Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
Because like he had a lot of really cool success as a producer, as a writer. He had the group Nerd that he had been a part of for a long time, but didn't really blow up in the same way that Black Eyed Peas did. But when he did that album and he did those songs with Daft Punk, it changed the game for him too.
All right.
And so like those 2 artists, I feel like really defined what that genre is and where it could go. And out of that list, I would have to say David Guetta.
Pretty good. CT says that his favorite is Zed. Solid choice. Let me think. And Emily Louise with a question. Emmy with a question. Another, is that right? Is Emmy your nickname? I'm sorry. But Emily Louise 87 says he's another. Emily Louise 87 asks, how about Kevin Wong, another talented streamer from Toronto?
Oh, I gotta check out Kevin Wong. I don't know that I know Kevin that well, but I'm always looking for new people to meet up with and potentially like collab with. So that would be very cool. I will have to check him out and give him a follow on Twitch.
I dig it. So there's this little like mini Josh Con coming. I can see based on what Peter's relaying to us.
There you go.
That's exciting. Good time for that. Any thought to going to TwitchCon in San Diego around that same time?
Oh, there you go. That could be really cool.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good things about TwitchCon, and I've never been to one, so that would be amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going
absolutely. A lot going on for sure, and it's a good place to be around that time of year. Thanks, Emmy. I can call you Emmy or Emmy Lou. Super duper. Thank you. So the queue is closed. I think that was about it for questions. It's more of a Peter Con.
It's more of a Peter Con.
I mean, if it's a Peter Con, I might have to go. I might have to get book a flight to Toronto too. Like that needs to happen.
Peter TV Con.
Peter TV Con. It's great. Love it. But that's just a good place to wrap up. I mean, you've got some big things coming, and we'll just repeat. Please put up an Instagram ad for PeterCon, Peter. I just want to pass that around.
There you go.
You gotta go to PeterCon.
Love that. Are you kidding?
It's the place to be. I'll make sure Katie knows about your con too, about your convention too.
Hell yeah.
Good times. Oh, I love it. Oh my God, I'm gonna market it as Peter TB Con. Oh, that is good. Look at all these laugh smileys in the chat. This is great. Good times. But yeah, no. Anyway, that's good. You've got some exciting times coming up, and much love to you and what you've done, and thank you again for doing this, Josh. This has definitely been a lot of fun. As you reflect on what's been happening in the last few months, I mean, what are you looking forward to in the time ahead?
I'm really looking forward to releasing this music. We've got a whole bunch of live dates that we're confirming over the next little bit, and with the release of the new music, there's going to be a new, campaign that we're going on, which means that there's going to be a lot more tour dates. It means that I'm going to get back to the UK again, which is going to be phenomenal. We're going to go through a lot more of the places in the States that we had been to before. Mm-hmm. And so there's going to be a lot of touring, which means there's going to be a lot of memories made, a lot of friends that we get to see in real life and get to make along the way. And with all of that just comes more inspiration, more experiences, more ability to write songs.
Very true. And I've noticed more... particularly in your case, your ability to write songs really does stem from your life experiences. So the more of them you have, the more content you have for your songs. So it all works out in the end. That's really cool. Super
Absolutely.
Cool. Thank you for the claps, everybody. I mean, yes. I appreciate you doing, I didn't do any songs tonight, but that's nice of you to clap anyhow. But no, in all seriousness, thank you so much. And thank you, Josh. This has really been a tremendous time, and it's so good to catch up with you again.
Davey, you too. I love coming on the show. I love getting to hang out with you, period. In chat, in real life, on the show, you're just a phenomenal person, and you bring everybody in and make everybody feel so welcome. And so thank you for having me on the show. And yeah, man, this was fantastic. And to everybody who's been hanging out with us in the chat, Emmy Lou, I know it's got to be really early in the morning for you. But thank you all so much for being here. Peter, it's got to be 2-3 o'clock in the morning for you.
That's a good.
But
good
thank
point.
you guys so much for being here, and Davey, thank you for providing a space on Twitch where we can just hang out and be ourselves and have a good time.
Well, I'm glad to do it. The pleasure is mine, Josh. Let's go get some credits out. Just thank all the people who are here tonight. It's just a tremendous time. And then if mods, could you put exclamation point upcoming to alert our sandwich fam as to who's coming up in the next few weeks? We have some great guests coming, actually. Really, really good guests. While we do that, let's go give you the credits. And away we go. So here's who we have to thank tonight. Yeah, next week will be really fun. Bill Larkin Music will be joining us next week.
Ooh,
be
nice.
really fun. Oh, thank you for Angry. Thank you for the 500 bits. Thank you so much.
You
thank
legend.
You.
Angry.
Angry.
Legend.
Legend.
Thank
I agree. I agree. And thank you for the new follows as well, everybody. You're very kind to do this. Emmy, thank you for your kind words. Thanks, Davey and Josh and mods. Have a great day, night, all. And Aaron says, Josh, thank you for everything you do. You make people's life. Oh, did I end up getting to your question, Aaron? Oops. Because so Aaron
so
basically
much.
asked the question, do you realize what an impact you've had on people's lives?
Oh, that's a really nice question, Aaron, and that's a really nice comment that you made. Thank you so much. I hope that it's a positive one. You know, in every experience that I go into and everything that I do, I always really hope to leave that moment a little better than how I found it. And so that really means a lot. That's what you've been feeling, and that's the kind of energy that you're getting off of what we're doing. I'm honestly just grateful to be able to do something that I love, and even more than that, grateful that thing that I really love to do and that gives me a reason to wake up every morning is able to impact so many people in such a positive way. That's I can't ask for much more than that.
That's wonderfully said. And I agree with Aaron. You make people's lives better every day by just being you.
Thank you. That honestly, that's the biggest compliment that you could ever give me.
I appreciate. Yeah, that's wonderful, Aaron, and I'm with that too. 97 Dreamer, thank you for your comments as well. Thank you for the show, Davey and Josh. We're glad to do this, and we really appreciate all your support and your follow tonight. Really means a lot to me. You know, we feel like 600 would be a big deal, and as 500 was, and we're just glad to have your company tonight. Peter says, "You hope, forget hope. You are Mr. Hope, Mr. Love, and Mr. Light wrapped up in one turkey body."
Thank you, Peter. That's really nice, man.
That's
Thank
really
you.
cool. That's really cool. Yeah, thanks, Peter. All right, so we're going to go raid KR Acoustic, who has a killer raid song. And you need to stay through the raid
Amazing.
and stay through the entire song. It is amazing. You don't want to miss this. And so let's do it. He's a good friend of ours as well. And he's a good friend of yours, which is really cool. So this is a good symbiotic relationship.
KR's awesome.
Love
It's
it.
going to be great.
Copy the raid call, everybody. We're going to head on over to KR Acoustic. Josh, thanks again. And y'all in the chat, have a great rest of your night. We should be back on Friday. I just don't know with what. We'll keep you up to date. You can follow us on the Discord between shows. Here's the Discord link. And copy the raid call. Let's go say hello to KR Acoustic.
Brilliant. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for being here, Davey.
You bet. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Josh. Let's go hang out with KR.